Hey guys, welcome back to Beach and Fishing. Paul here with you again today. And Beach and Fishing is my site all to do with the wonderful world of fishing. And today, as part of that, we're going to turn our attention to keeping our tackle at home with some fishing tackle storage ideas that you can use when you are not out on the water. Now, I'm a big believer in not taking all my tackle with me when I go down to the water's edge or out in a kayak or down the beach or wherever. Mainly for the fact that by design you're fishing in water obviously, and if you fish mainly in salt water like I do, it just means that you're exposing all of your tackle, everything that you've got with you, to all the elements. So to my way of thinking, the less I'm taking with me, the less I'm exposing to everything else, which means you can then make your tackle last longer. I buy a lot of tackle every time we go to the department store. I pick up a bag here and a bag there, and so I keep a lot of that at home, and as I say, only take with me the stuff I need for that particular trip. So I'm just going to run you through today some ideas that you've got for that. The other obvious reason that you might want to keep your tackle at home is based on the fact that you've just got too much. So don't want to take it all with you, or you've just got too much. And the options that we go through here there will be a variant on that based on how much storage space you've got. Excuse me. So let's go through the first option here. Now, if you're anything like me, most of the time when you start to build up your stuff, I've got shit. If I took you out in the garage, you'd just laugh, because I'm in here talking all the good things about storage, and I've got shelves out there with stuff here and stuff there and stuff everywhere. But generally you start with just a everyday, use an ice cream container or a takeaway container or a food container. I use food containers, the little ones. I use these, so as I say, I don't take everything with me. My tackle I buy my tackle in little bags like that, which is probably not the right way to do it, because if I buy it in bulk, obviously it's a lot cheaper. Little bag there, I'm not sure what that's from. But some sinkers, swivels, hooks. And that's all I take with me when I go out on the kayak. This is from the kayak. So if you've got larger food containers that you've purchased, you can get them at the supermarket for about $3 for the big ones. So grab them, and then every time you buy yourself another bag. And that's the reason I buy mine like this is because these are about $3 or $4 a pop. Every time we go to our local department store, we call them Big W. It's smaller versions of a Walgreens or a Walmart or something like that. I buy a couple of these, and then I put them all in this little container and just pluck one out as I need it. So a food container, ice cream container, takeaway container would be your first option. Drop your little bags in there. That way you're not jamming it all into your tackle bag or your tackle box. You're not taking it all down the beach with you, or all down the lake or the water's edge with you, and going from there. So first option there is your tackle, is your food containers. Cheap, ice cream containers, eat the ice cream out, you got a free container, so use them. The only issue with that is as you start they don't really stack on top of each other very well unless they've got the lid. If you haven't got the lid, they don't stack very well, and they take up a lot of space, so you'll end up with all this stuff across your shelving. Second option then goes to a tackle tray. Now, again, I've got a smaller tackle tray here, and I've got large ones. I haven't pulled out the ones with the hooks and stuffing, because every time I do that, they started making noise. So I've got a blank one here. Basically, these big tackle trays, open them up. These, you can see I can take out the separators, so I can make larger spaces there, so I could fit a lure in that, or I can take smaller spaces. So these are really good if you want to stack all your stuff on top of each other. So I could stack 4 or 5 of these on top of each other. I could have all my hooks in one, all my swivels in one, all my sinkers in another, so on and so forth. Or like this one, this is my little go-to one. It's got some sinkers, it's got some jig heads, it's got some lures in there. And I actually store that home. If I'm not going to where I need my lures, I store this at home. And then when I go, I just pick this up and take it into one hit, put it in my tackle bag, and off I go. So tackle trays are your next option. They're not really expensive either. You can buy them in groups, and as I say, you can store them on top of each other. If you buy the right sizes, they'll slot into the cabinets we talk about later on, 3600 or 3700, nice and big. They'll slot into your tackle bag, they'll slot in and out. So they're interchangeable. Well worth the effort there. Now our third option then takes us to something, if you want something a little bit more compact, or you want something that you can pick up and move, and that is a large tackle bag. So this one is my big tackle bag. You can see it's got the trays inside there. I've actually got an old knife set in here that I rarely use because I've got another knife. I've got a cutting board, which should actually be in my other thing, because I was looking for that the other day, to be honest. What these do is, this just means that all these containers that I've got here, I can fill up and then just keep dropping in here. And I've got everything in one spot, so if I need to get stuff out, I can just open up and pull it out. But this isn't going to take up as much space on the shelf as all your containers, or even all of these on their side, all stacked up. This takes a lot smaller area. And then, as I say, if I do want to suddenly, for some reason, take all my tackle with me, or move it, or whatever, I've got the container, that's not a container, that's a handle, the strap here, and I can take it with me everywhere I go. So that's the next option up. So we started with the little containers, ice containers, up to the trays, then to the large options. Now the next two are a little bit more expensive, although that bag wasn't real cheap. And I got this fourth one, an idea from a friend of mine who set his own up. If you've ever, the big, they can be metal or plastic tool box chest things. I'll show you in the post here. So in the post, goes through plastic containers, plastic trays. There's some options there, larger toolboxes, and then larger tackle boxes. Then toolboxes, portable metal or plastic toolboxes that people use for tools. So if I click on that, you can see more of what I'm talking about there. If I click on the other one, you can see more of what I'm talking about there. So these are these are actually for tools, as in mechanics use them, all that sort of stuff. However, by design, because they're already set up with the racks and the trays and everything for tools, they're easy to convert and work for as a big fishing tackle storage area. And the advantage of them is if you're someone who, if you're into fly fishing or something like that, where you're making your own lures, they've got a little workbench on the top. All your tools for making that can go in there. All your little lure parts, or your little hooks and everything can go in there. You've got it all in the one spot, and you use it on your little workbench on top there. The more expensive models even have little vices and stuff on the top as well. Power adapters in the side, USB points in the side. I mean, they're up to $800 or $900 a pop. I haven't got anything that expensive in here, but you can certainly use that as well. So converting an actual tool block or box into a fishing storage option is a good idea. As I say, especially if you've got a lot of tools or you're maintaining a lot of rods and reels. As part of your online business, or part of your fishing business, you might maintain people's reels for them from home. That would be ideal for that, because you've got everything in one spot. You can keep all your little rod O-ring, your little ceramic O-rings in there. If you're replacing those for people, you can keep EVA handles, everything like that can go in the one spot, and off you go from there. So that would be another good option. And the final option, again, I'll take you to the post, is if you want to keep your stuff inside. So you can get yourself a little cabinet like this, drawers and cupboards. This cupboard will fit the plastic trays we talked about before. It doesn't come with the plastic trays, but you can see those plastic trays go in the cupboard. And then you've got your drawers, little shelf there for everything else, and most of them come with little rod holders there as well, so they'll hold your rods and reels and all that sort of stuff in the one spot for you as well. So they just look a bit nicer because they're more like furniture than just a tackle bag or even a rolling toolbox. But they're you get one of them, put your trays in it, put your reels in it, put your tools in it, rods and reels sit in there, everything sits inside, out of the dust, especially if your garage is somewhere where it's not protectable, it's open, or it's somewhere where you can't lock it up, or it gets a bit wet in there, mouldy, mildew, whatever you get in there. You can get one of these cabinets, keep all your stuff inside, and keep everything there. I mean, that's just 5 options for keeping your tackle. I mean, I've got, as I say, I've got one here, and I can't show because of the camera, but I've got an industrial shelf that I keep all my fishing gear on. I hang the nets off the side. I've got my trolling motor and everything up the top for the kayak. I've got tools on there. I've got reels on there, and beside it, I've got a little rod rack that I keep everything on. So whatever suits you. But as I say, if you're looking for something that you can keep your tackle in mainly and your tools in, so that you're not taking everything with you to the beach every time you go, or you've got so much that you just can't physically fit it all in, then these options here can be helpful. So as I say, you just get any container. Get a container, put all your bags in it, put it on the shelf, off you go. Then you go up to your trays, which have little compartments, so it just makes it a little bit easier to store it. Your tackle boxes, your large tackle boxes or bags, so that you've got everything a bit more compact and not taking up lots of space. If you want to have lots of gear, then move into the portable, find yourself a good portable toolbox, because the next size up is those. The tackle boxes don't tend to come in that next size up. And any of the fishing groups, I mean, anyone who's got a lot of gear at home, they show their gear at home often, and they are all the toolboxes that they've converted into fishing things. Another good area there would be to go to, we call it Spotlight here, but go to a arts and crafts shop, because again, the same thing, same containers that people who do scrapbooking or anything like that keep their stuff in, will also work well for fishing gear. So there's another little option. I haven't got that in the post, but there's another little extra tip for you there. Go to a craft shop or anything like that. Anything that people keep, anything for arts, crafts, tools, bits and pieces gear, you can convert to fishing storage. That's it, guys. Hope that was helpful for you. If you're watching within YouTube, please like and subscribe to my channel below. If you're watching within the post, comment below. Tell me what you use. Tell me how you store your fishing gear, so I can pass that, obviously, within the comments. That'll pass the information on to people who are watching the post, who are reading the post, and give them some other ideas as well. Would love to hear from you. Okay, guys, thanks for that. Happy fishing, and I'll chat to you soon. Bye.